MTG Ownage. How's it going, guys? It's Matt with the weekly Finance Friday. This is episode 2, and we're going to look at the things that have been going on. It's now April 8th. It's been another week since last video, and we're going to look at some tabletop cards. I'm just going to start with this MTG Goldfish list because it's easy and it does a lot of the work for me. Then I'm going to talk about some more other stuff. But looks like the biggest winner. This is a daily change, so this is like fresh off the press on the 8th. More stuff has been happening over the week, which we will get to. But let's just look at the daily since we're, doing a fresh day. Wandering Emperor, been moving up. I guess it's seeing a lot of play. I don't know, just to think about the card a little bit. I'm gonna find a place where I'm out of the way. It's a very efficient card because you get to play it. You exile something, and then you make a samurai potentially, or you just buff up your board. But it having flash, I guess, is a big deal. I don't understand why this is moving so much. I guess it's just played a ton in standard, but oh man, here I go speculating. I expect to see a hard pullback on this at some point. Like, I just have a feeling. All right, but so I'm just saying, don't feel like you're missing out, I guess is the point. And also, I forgot to preface this with not financial advice, not a financial advisor. We're having some fun. All right, it's entertainment. So invest at your own risk. It's not my fault. Foreign collects moving up a bit. These are all kind of small moves on the day. We're seeing, like, 20 cents might be a pretty big movement for one day. But okay, let's just hypothesize. Strixhaven cards on here, an uncommon, go blank. This card is really good. Not only do you have them discard 2 cards, you exile their graveyard, which is kind of a really big deal because that's one of the problems with this card is sometimes they just use it anyway. Yeah, this gets around another strong Strixhaven card. I think Strixhaven is going to have a good long-term legacy. It's a strong set. It's a good one to invest in, honestly, if you're going for sealed or something. Expressive Iteration, another uncommon out of Strixhaven. Whoa, that's a big number for an uncommon. It's still in standard, still in print. All right, these pathways are really good. Some people don't like them. They're kind of annoying because you got to flip them, but they're always into play untapped, and they're a pretty solid duel. These are good duels. They're going to climb. They're always going to climb. So good. The Seiju, no surprise there. Lol, seen a lot of play. Yeah, these are really good too. These are way better than they seem. They're great turn 3 and beyond. They don't have the old stipulation of you need 2 basics, which the old ones had. These are good. I like them. Symbiosis moving up a bit. Interesting. This is a mythic. And Haunted Ridge, another one of these lands. So yeah, I think honestly, I don't know if these lands are going to go down ever, but they might just keep going up. They're really strong lands. All right. Losers, a lot of these are probably pullbacks. Hinge Gate went up a lot over the week. So this isn't, let's go to the weekly. I don't feel like this daily is very, very good, for understanding movements in the longer term. Because if you look at this quickly, you think, oh, Hinge Gate's down. It's actually way up. It had a huge spike. Look at it, it's $15 where the others are 7, 8. So yeah, let's look at the week. Okay, Goldfish does have a weekly change too. I should have just scrolled down further. Anyway, Chandra Dress to Kill, been climbing a lot. Wandering Emperor, been climbing a lot. Meat Hook Massacre, no surprise. The Hinge Gate, yeah, here's the overall up of the Hinge Gate. I think it was even more. There was one day where it very suddenly went up like $8 or $9. It's crazy. Well, at least the foil copy. I don't know about this one. Otawara, no surprise. Lear, no surprise. Lear is really good. She's reaching 10. For a long time, she was at like 4 or 5, and I thought that was incredibly cheap, so not surprised. The better... I want to say better Swords to Plowshares, but it's actually worse. It does hit artifacts, though, and enchantments. This thing's pretty good. Old Cultivator Colossus. I don't actually see anybody play this too much, but he seems really cool in theory. He can really get your combo off with lands. Just play lands and draw for days. Pretty cool. All right, let's look at the losers real quick. Goldspan pulling back a little bit down to 24. Might be a decent time to pick up Goldspan. I don't see him going much slower. He's so good. Just way too good. Card's insane. Hollowed Haunting. I think this had a huge spike. It's way up there. So not surprised that these are moving. All right, so I'm going to talk about more of what I actually have and some more specific cards here real quick. But those are the big movements. That's the quick and dirty. If you just wanted to see what's up and what's down for the week, that's what it is. Probably a decent time to grab any of these pulling back. Necroduality, I've heard people say it's going to go way lower. We'll see, I guess. It's a cool card. It's always going to be a cool card for zombies. So, and it's a mythic, so it'll probably go below 10 at some point, but who knows? Just speculation, I don't know. Itsugu, pulling back. It had a huge spike, of course, at one point a couple weeks ago before I started these videos. All right, let's get to the cards. Got to mention the dual lands, I guess. Yeah, Underground Sea's been up about 10 bucks on the week. Pretty much all dual lands have been up a little bit this week, so no surprise, as usual. One of my favorites, I think, as far as the blue chip cards that are pretty big numbers. But what else is moving? Let's take a look. I am tending to look at revised copies here, but Unlimited, of course, is a little more. Wheel of Fortune, it's been up about 20 bucks on the week, which is decently significant for its price. I guess you can see it up there. That's what it is. How interesting is it going to be to go look at this video in like 2 years and be like, Wheel of Fortune was only that much? Because it's probably going to be like 600, 700. All right, I got to avoid speculation. These are totally not speculation, except there is speculation. I don't know. There's some paradox there. I just want to look at the history. Well, Wheel of Fortune had a spike to 2K. That's crazy. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the long run it surpasses this again. You know, like 10 years, etc. So, great card. But it's been up pretty severely. Let's talk about another one that's been way up, another card. Seeing some pretty big recent climbs on the Ozolith, especially the foil and full art copies. Oh, that's MTGO. It's even big. Well, it's not big on MTGO. Okay. Yeah, tabletop. It's at about 20 bucks. It's been climbing a lot. It's been kind of steady. If we go back all the way to the inception when it was printed, it was never really below 5 bucks, but now it's climbing all the way. It sat around 5 for a long time, about a full year. Now it's climbing upwards towards 20. It's no surprise. This card is just really good. Just what it does. If you haven't read it, you gotta read this sucker. It's only 1 mana. Give a face out of the way. 1 mana. Whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, if it had counters on it, any kind, put those on the Ozolith. At the beginning of combat on your turn, it has counters. You may move all counters from the Ozolith onto target creature. So it only affects creatures, but it moves all counters. That means like trample, vigilance, death type, all the types of counters. +1/+1, of course. So yeah, just really a neat card. Really neat card. It keeps you going. Sort of like extreme value for 1 mana. Really good, strong commander card in my opinion. We already sort of looked at this, but it's on my list. The Hinge Gate pathway has just been on a tear. I'm not really sure why. I guess it's just really strong in these colors. It's an untapped land. You know, it's another untapped land that every deck with these colors has probably used a lot, all the way back to Vintage, maybe even. I'm not sure, but you know, with untapped lands that can, or duels, you see them pretty widely played. I love these because it doesn't matter if you draw them late or early. They're just always untapped. They're just really strong. I think they're stronger than people realize. And yeah, I'm gonna get off the soapbox about these things, but I just really think these pathways are good. They're not better than duels, obviously, but they're really good. And whatever you have to complain about them, there's one argument that trumps it always. It's always untapped when it comes into play. No checks, no paying. This guy was on last week's episode, but this secret lair copy of Arbu, Roar of the World, keeps climbing. It's up like another 7 bucks from last week, so that's kind of a big deal. I think, if I got those numbers right. That's what it says on my little monitor thing. Lamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, has been up recently. He's up to 70. You know, it seems like he's up, but actually he had some huge spikes. Let's look at the tabletop. As he went, where wasn't he like 100 at some point? Yeah, well, he was nearly 90, and then he kind of went back down to 50ish. Now he's pulling back up. So he's kind of on the rise again. We'll see where Lamog goes. He's got an interesting curve. He's got a lot of huge spikes, goes back down, spikes, a lot of spikes, really spiky card. I don't know what it is about this card, but, or if people just like flipping it as soon as it gets high and then buying them out as soon as it gets low. Maybe it's just one of those cards. I'm not sure, but seems to be pretty strong. And it's really, the best thing about this is you can get this destruction in any color. Sure, it's 10 mana. 10 mana. Okay, I'm moving over here. But when you cast it, you exile 2 permanents, and he's indestructible. Well, the big thing is those exiling 2 permanents, and he's 20/20 that eats libraries. Yeah, being able to get that in big red, mono white, whatever you need removal for, Lamog's there. I don't know why I went on that tangent about Lamog. I guess I'm just trying to understand why he's spiking so much. Ancient Tomb. This one's been on the rise yet again, all the way up to 75. Its price has been a little crazy lately. You can see this pretty big movement right there. But it's been doing this for many years. It's, you know, it's just highly played. It's very, very strong in a lot of decks. Pretty much seen just a lot of play all across the board. Just one of those cards. Who would have thought? And life for extra mana is pretty good. Okay, the Meat Hook Massacre's still on this rising list. It has, well, I guess it kind of bounced a little bit, but I have it up $6 on the week, so it's pretty big. Still moving up. Full Rest Stronghold has been strong, we'll say. It has been pretty consistently climbing for a long time. Let's pull this back a little bit. Man, would have liked to pick one up at even, you know, it was 12 at some point. That's really cheap. And now it would have had a spike to 180 in the... Wow, did it really spike that high? I don't remember that. Right here, yeah, it's like 200. And that was February to May of the... That was about a year ago exactly. And now I guess we're starting to see a little bit of uptick on it again. It's hard to see here, but for the week I have it up about $5. Yeah, pretty hard to see on this chart. I guess you look like... I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to say. I'm pulling data from different sources too, so, but in general it looks like this is a strong card. It's not exactly gonna tank. It's one of those just such a good card. What other versions do we have? Not many. There's just the original Stronghold one. There's the World Championship. They got these Tempest remastered. I don't know what these are. I think these might be online only or something. Yeah, there's an MTGO. Stronghold foil, that's MTGO. So the only real print of this is Stronghold and these championship versions, which might be good buys for Commander and stuff since they're only $35.50, but this one's, yeah, I think this is a good card. It's obviously really cool, just what it does. Super old. If you don't know Volra Stronghold, well, you're not a true Magic player because it's an old school card. Alright, let's talk about a few other. Alright, Archmage's Charm. This thing has been just shredding charts for a long time. It's up to $26 now. Man, I remember when I was cracking Modern Horizon these things for like $2-3. It was like a good pull, but it didn't feel like a $26 card. This thing has just kept going up. It's a strong card, you know. It's got Counterspell, it's got draw 2 cards, it's got Steal Soul Ring or some good equipment. Yeah, I guess I'm not surprised that it's climbing, but it's kind of hard to fit into a lot of decks with the 3 blue. But mono blue, you definitely want one of these in every mono blue deck, no doubt about it. And it is legal in Modern right now. I think that's always big. Any card that's legal in Modern will just, people want 4 ofs. They're really strong like this. So that's probably another thing that's definitely influencing it. That kind of goes without saying, but I'm just throwing that in there. The Dragon, very popular commander. He's been going up. This Secret Lair copy's been up about $4 on the week, which is decently significant. It might be because of the new set, new Capenna coming out soon. I'll make a video about all those, so stay tuned. I like to do a full set review when they release the full set and just go over the cards I think are important. I did it for the last set, and I'm going to continue to try to do those. I feel like that's a decent format for me to do these in. Yeah, but Dragon, always strong. Who would have thought? Yeah, there's probably dragons in New Capenna. I think there's like a Dragon Angels demon theme maybe, so, or to some extent. I'm not 100% sure, of course, but not surprised that dragons are moving, although this dragon specifically, because he's such a popular commander, I expect this to just keep going up endlessly. I bet this, okay, speculation warning, this card will probably be 150, 200 in another couple of years. We'll see if that holds true. I feel like it's one of the few that could. The old Sword of the Animus. This thing's been climbing a lot recently. Really popular commander card. It is so good. I have one in nearly every one of my commander decks that's not green. And I know I'm not the only one. So yeah, it actually pulled back down to the $7-ish range not too long ago, but it's been spiking a lot. Jeez. All I could say is I'm glad I got in early on this one. I remember I bought a stack of them at one point. I was like, all right, I need 3 or 4. I bought 3 or 4. Anyways, little whatever. But yeah, I guess it tanked back down. It wasn't actually too bad to buy them. It might not even be a bad price now, the way this card's looking. But the thing that might keep bringing it back down is there's just a lot of copies of it. It's printed in Adventures of the Forgotten Realms, the newest one. You can get those still on shelves right now, so probably worth getting it from there. But all the other ones, wait, there was a Theros Beyond Death promo of this bad boy? Really? Planeswalker stamp? I don't know, that might have came in some weird box. They carry all kinds of stuff, but yeah, I wasn't even aware of that one. Alright, well, yeah, strong card, no surprise. Climbing steadily. It's up like almost $4 this week. Force of Will climbing about 350 this week, up to 118. No surprise. Gristle brand making a nice little steady increase recently too, just a few bucks. I think specifically the new Secret Lair one is kind of going up high. Oh, there's an Etched Secret Lair one. I don't know if this has a picture for it, but yeah, the Secret Lair one has been moving a little more than the others. Huh. I guess I don't have a picture for the etch. I'd like to see the foil etched to this. And here you thought I was gonna leave you hanging. There it is. Oh, that is sweet looking. I love it. All right, well, that's crazy that the foil etched is only 17. I am genuinely surprised by that. It is the next cheapest after these base ones. There's like the Modern Masters regular, the Avacyn regular, the Secret Lair regular foil are the same. The foil etched $3 more. It's gonna go out on a limb here. These etched ones are a lot rarer. Speculation warning. I suspect if people want these, I expect to see this foil etched one at somewhere around 100 soon. Not even gonna lie. I could be wrong, but I would not be surprised if this just went crazy one week because of its scarcity. You can't just open that one. That one you got to get as one of the special bonus cards in those Secret Lairs. So even if you bought Secret Lair, you didn't necessarily get this foil etched one. My point is there's going to be a lot less of them around, and when people pick up on it that it's sweet and it's got that sweet art that you just saw, yeah, it's probably gonna move. Of course, we couldn't have a week without Urza going up. He's up about $3 and some, still climbing 78. That's crazy. He's been moving a lot recently, but even still. The old Captain Sisay's been moving a lot recently. There's the Invasion version, or the super expensive foil Invasion version, but also the Secret Lair one that came out a while back has been moving as well. It's one of the sweetest arts, I think. I love this one. So yeah, we're seeing that uptick by about $3 this week. Gilded Drake moving up a little bit this week, about $3 or $4. Not huge percentage wise, but highly played. Pretty much all the versions of Hero of Dominaria Fairy are moving up, at least a couple bucks, so he's been pretty hot recently. Big Teferi, as they call him. Been seeing some movements on Sylvan Library, just steadily upticking recently. So it moved a couple bucks, $3 or $4 this week. A few others, I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, like Dockside's up a couple bucks. The Secret Lair Croxa's up a couple bucks, but those are kind of no surprise. They've been bouncing up and down a couple bucks like every week. But another card that's up this week that is actually kind of a big deal is Timely Ward. Now, in case you haven't seen this card, it's a flash enchantment, but you can only cast it on as flash if you're targeting your commander, and it just gives your commander or creature indestructible. So yeah, you can flash it out, save your commander. And the biggest thing about this is there's really only one printing of it, and that's in Commander Legends. So yeah, it's kind of, you know, Commander Legends is just now going out of print. I'm sure there are a lot of these out here, but this is just a really, really good in Commander, and especially with, you know, every time there's a new enchantment commander or a loving commander that people love, which there were a few of recently, something like this moves, and this doubled in price in the last week. It went from like less than, well, it was about $2 to nearly up to, you know, $4.55. So pretty interesting. It looks like this sees a lot of play online, higher price than I would have expected. All right, and most of the other stuff is little and not super important. I'll mention them, but I'm not going to look up everyone. We're seeing Spire Bluff Canal move up a couple bucks. Fury from Modern Horizons 2 is up a couple dollars. Looks like Nexus of Fate's up. Otawara, Urza Saga, Force Negation climbing back a little bit. It's been going down a bit. Leyline of Sanctity is up, and so is Force of Vigor, and so is Solitude. Wow, a lot of Modern Horizons cards just continuing to rise. All right, well, I don't have time to look up all those, but I figured I'd make a quick mention of it. And yeah, Magic's been really strong this last week. All right, I gotta go. Thanks for watching. See you on the next Finance Friday.